to Bendigo's Red Energy Arena. We are here for a double header this evening. It is my absolute pleasure to be joining you on this broadcast as we have Kangaroo Flat taking on Sandhurst in a Bendigo Football Netball League little pre-season hit out. Just as we begin this broadcast, on behalf of Netball Victoria and the Melbourne Vixens, we would like to acknowledge the Dja Dja Wurrung people as traditional owners and custodians of the lands we're on today and pay our respects to elders past and present. Well, my name is Georgie Rajic. I am joined, of course, by Hannah Kua. Hannah, very exciting times here to be out in Bendigo, of course. Really, tonight's game made possible by the support of the Victorian Government and the City of Greater Bendigo.
Hey G, it is so lovely to be here. Of course, Red Energy Arena, so much energy around as we get the football netball season almost underway. This is such a great look at two formidable sides, of course. Last year had such a strong showing. This was, of course, round one of 2024 when Sandhurst won 46-39. They did the same thing in round 10, but all eyes are on this being the prelim replay. Yeah. When it was, unfortunately, Sandhurst who went down up against the eventual runners-up in Kangaroo Flat, the team with the ball at the moment. So, yeah, what a matchup it is. I can't wait to see who gets the better of the pairing today ahead of their matchup throughout the year.
Well, and if you're a fan of the Victorian Netball League, some familiar faces on the court at the moment, of course, Sophie Shoebridge, who plies her trade with the Burundara Express in at goalkeeper for Sandhurst as well. And on the bench and also as an assistant coach, a name very familiar for a lot of Melbourne Vixens fans, Rupi Bachmeier. So great to see so much talent from the region here on display.
Oh, absolutely. And you've only highlighted a couple of names, Georgia. We'll go through the rest of them throughout the match because it just feels like there's talent wherever you look. And it's not even Bendigo talent. We know there's so much of it in the region. But you're right, they're names that have made their way up into the Melbourne Vixens, into Victorian men's teams if we start looking at the coaching sides. So, yeah, of course, Jaden Cowling, might be able to see him back of shot, scribbling away in his notebook. Abby Ryan with the ball at the moment. She also an ex-VNL player, former Burundara and Ballarat back in the day. We used to play out in the regions together, so it is great to see players from all kinds of netball backgrounds making their way to footy netball, of course. It's what makes the Bendigo League one of the best.
Well, strong start to the game for Kangaroo Flat. They've got a couple on the board as well. We can just swing the ball hard across court, opening up, and beautifully done.
Some great hands, and you'd expect the defensive sides for both teams to be really tight. As you can see, a lot of one-on-one defense floating through the middle as well. So we'll see how the ball's brought to circle edge. Short lob, probably not enough on that one for the Sandhurst Dragons.
So we've got the starting lineups of both teams. For Kangaroo Flat and goal shooter Abby Ryan, goal attack Ava Hamilton, in wing attack Ella Wicks, centre Bella Pitto, wing defence Emma Moroney, goal defence Alicia Gladman, goalkeeper Megan Wilson.
And for Sandhurst, it's Rebecca Smith in goal shooter, Kelsey Mead goal attack, wing attack Shade Clifford, centre Meg Williams, wing defence Tess Keating, goal defence Heather Oliver, and goalkeeper in Sophie Shoebridge. As we've mentioned, what a superstar 7.
It really is. And Williams is going for the long lob over the top to Smith. Obstruction on Megan Wilson, giving her a second opportunity.
It's a beautiful patient entry, of course, for both sides, just taking their time off the centre pass. In netball, there's a lot of pressure to be really quick into goals, but sometimes it's the composure, the two fakes, although caught on a held ball on that one. And that is a really lovely lob. When you've got a taller goal shooter, you just want to read the angle of the hold, and I think that's something that the Dragons are doing well so far.
Well, they'll go out to a little 2-goal lead as well.
And again, when I said use the fakes, that is exactly the demonstration that you want to see. One fake, pull the defenders out. A second fake, allowing your goal shooter to go under the post. So really impressive work from the Dragons. Of course, you'd expect some goaler craft around there. The club's home of Beck Bully.
Well, that's definitely a really strong defensive showing. But, of course, really interesting talking pre-match that with these teams as well. Ruby Barkmine, of course, not on the court today, but, well, before Maya Kamwenda was picked up by West Coast Fever, was meant to join her in this league. So definitely a fearsome goaling circle for any of the other Bendigo football netball teams to come across.
Do you reckon she said, I just love myself in green, that's the opportunity at Fever?
Well, I think so. Just swapping one green dress for another.
I'd say they need her, but honestly, I don't think they do. Ryan with ball in hand at the moment. She's got a great eye for where the pass needs to go and able to use her frame to create opportunities. See out there, she's happy to be used, was going to work closer to post, but if you've got such a great goal attack option, really balances things out.
Clifford looking to go down the line through Mead.
Oh, the 2-on-1 work. How inspiring is that defence? Love the work of Gladman getting hands to it, but really it's the goal defence and goalkeeper duo that get the reward.
Again, strong netball on display here. Maroney bringing the ball down the court. On the move was Wicks. I'll push the ball right into a defender. None of that.
Very unlucky. It's such a great trick to use as a mid-quarter, to take the step on, use the ball to get you there, but unfortunately the umpire seeing it as a footwork error.
Opportunity now beckons for Smith. And again, they extend their run here.
Yeah, Beck Smith, she's been such a stalwart of this league, of course making the BFNL Open rep team in 2023, so a lot of rep experience. Meanwhile, down the other end, the mid-court setting things alight, met Williams again.
Well, looking at the names of these two lists, a lot of names VNL fans would be aware of, but also a lot of the players in this team would be suiting up for Bendigo Strikers this very weekend in their round 2 VNL clash against the Western Warriors.
Yeah, isn't it fantastic to have VNL netball here in Bendigo? I mean, we've already spoken about all the names to come through the region, so to have a state league opportunity I think is fantastic. They are building such a strong franchise, and I think that's been a priority for Coach Tracy Brereton. She's been involved with both the under-23 and champ sides, which is really unusual at state league level. Often coaches find themselves stretched, but that is her level of investment in especially the local product. So, I mean, you just take the name of Zoe Davies heading up that championship side. She is the model for success in this region. She's played overseas in the UK, now getting a call up to play SSN reserves. She's a great example. Ruby Barkmeyer as well, that just because you live far away from Melbourne doesn't mean elite netball opportunities aren't in front of you. You can absolutely make whatever you want of your netball career.
Absolutely, and again, why it's so important to highlight these leagues and having these curtain raisers here as well. Again, really easy route into goal through to Rebecca Smith. We've seen it time and time again for Sandhurst. They keep piling them on the board. 5 goals they now up by. And breaking call there.
Like that both sides are happy to let the ball go. Of course, we're playing 4 by 10 minute quarters. So in this early stage of pre-season, as Ryan goes bang, almost nice to still use a bit of time to soak up a few extra breaths.
Barely felt that Ryan was in that goal circle when she first received that ball. Such was the power of her split. Beautiful goal attack drive from Kelsey Mead, making her way down the goal line. So just the efficiency in route towards goal from the centre pass on display by Sandhurst, and great positioning there from Wicks to be in front, then eventually finding Hamilton again. Goal attack drive for goal attack drive from either side. Hamilton wasn't able to finish it off and taps it on to Ryan.
Yeah, great give from Ryan, that splintering ball into post. And Hamilton, I love the strong hands that she's bringing. Of course, she was the runner. She's been a previous runner-up in the A Reserve League BNF. So clearly an accomplished player in her own right. But look to see that combination keep building for the Roos.
And just quickly, we are, of course, this is just right on time. I was going to say, we are looking at 10-minute quarters as this is a pre-season clash. So really strong display by Sandhurst. 13-8 the score at quarter time. We'll be right back after this break.
Sandhurst have been enjoying the first of 2 big games with Mystics coming on later on against New Zealand's October and Bendigo.
second quarter here at Bendigo, who's a Red Energy Arena, of course. Here for Bound for Bendigo, double-header clash. First up, we have Sandhurst taking on Kangaroo Flat, both from Bendigo's Football Netball League. And, of course, we're here in part thanks to the support of Victorian Government and the City of Bendigo. Well, my name is Georgia Rajic, joined by Hannah Kua. It was a blistering first quarter from Sandhurst, and they're looking to continue on their merry way.
Yeah, 5 goals up within a 10-minute quarter, So clearly a really hot start. You'd like to see what Kangaroo Flat's going to bring in now that they're working into the game. Of course, their coach, the very clever Jaden Cowling. You speak of the curtain raiser match. We're going to see Waikato Bay Plenty Magic. A little bit later, Jaden himself will be suiting up against it when the Victorian men's team play against Magic closer to Melbourne. But I'm going to take my headset off. We've got a far more important guest coming through.
Of course, we have Shay Clifford, of course, Sandhurst representative, and also Bendigo Strikers player. Shay, thank you so much for joining. It was a very fast-paced, action-packed first quarter. What was it like for you on court over there?
It was good to get out there. We haven't had a practice match this season with the Sandhurst girls, so I feel like we started off a little bit slow, but we definitely built into it in the first quarter.
And you're, of course, playing for Bendigo Strikers this season as part of the VNL. You're taking on the Western Warriors this weekend. Any advice going into that game? How do you think that's going to go? What's the aim there for your team?
Yeah, not sure what to expect. Obviously, I think Western Warriors have got a fairly new team as well. It'll definitely be a good hit out. Hopefully, we've been training really well and we had a good win last weekend by a goal, so we're feeling confident going into Sunday.
Well, you've been so-called on the road, but probably actually closer to home, having played at home in Bendigo on Sunday and now, of course, going across to Western Warriors, still in the west of Victoria. How much does it mean to be able to play these games at home in the Victorian Netball League?
Yeah, I think it's really, really lucky for a lot of the girls who have to travel a long distance. I mean, some people probably wouldn't play VNL if they had to travel multiple hours for training, so it's really special to have Bendigo and being part of the community to play, so it's really good.
And looking into your season for Sandhurst, what is the goal there?
Obviously, definitely to make the grand final and win the flag. So, yeah, hopefully we can do it this year. We have won multiple premierships in a row, but obviously didn't make it the last couple of years. So, hopefully, really looking to get back into that grand final position.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you for joining us. And I see another goal go through the net for Kangaroo Flat. So, who's your players to watch in this match coming through, for those who might not be familiar with some of them?
Yeah, I think we've got Meg Williams in wing attack. She's one to watch out, a great player. And we've got a couple of younger girls, the two sisters, Maggie and Tess Keating, in centre wing defence. So I think, they're really great players, and Harriet and goalkeeper who's playing really well, and
All right, we've had a substitution on the commentary headphones. Glad to take George's less sweaty headset, because I have to say, there is a lot of sweat going on over here.
It's really hot in here and I'm really sweaty, and I'm sorry to have to give these back to you.
No, talk to me about the intensity of playing A-grade footy netball. We know that Bendigo is one of the best footy netball leagues in this state.
Yeah, I think the BFNL is definitely a really strong league. It's great to play in the league and get such great competition within all the clubs, and everyone being sort of close. There's not that much travel for game day and things like that.
What are your thoughts on the Kangaroo Flat setup so far?
Flats, they've got a great team this season. They're always really strong, and I think this year they'll be really good. They've got a couple of new players which will really be great assets for them.
Bit of bad blood after that
I know.
prelim.
Yep, it was pretty disheartening to lose by just a couple, but that's all right, we'll come back this year.
What was the vibe leading up to this match, of course, having such a big crowd as well to come? Was it a little bit of extra excitement knowing that this was going to be such a grudge match?
Yeah, I think everyone was pretty excited to get the opportunity to play. Obviously, we've got it's our A squad playing tonight, so we've got all the girls, and it's really great to be able to play with everyone, and it was a good vibe coming up to it, but obviously, you always want to win at the end of the day, so...
Who's your biggest rival for season 2025?
Probably Kangaroo Flat, just because we lost to them in that prelim prelim final.
What did that emotion feel like after the match? Did you have, I presume the club would have put on a function. How was the emotional coping process at the back end of the year?
It was pretty upsetting. Obviously, we were out of finals, but we were pretty lucky as a club. We still had 6 teams playing in the grand final, so we just wanted to get around them and still enjoy all the festivities of the grand final.
Because, of course, you had the better of them twice during the home and away season. And then it was just that prelim, 51-47. But as we keep eyes on court, 8 goals in it now. What do you think is the difference between your lot and the Roos at the moment?
I think at the moment, I feel like our decision-making's been pretty good. We've been able to convert most of our centre passes and just score off and sort of maintain possession on those. I think, that's why we're in the lead at the moment.
What have some of the focuses been? I know you said it's been a limited run-up with training. What are some of the priorities for the month of March?
For Sandhurst?
Yeah.
I think just connecting as a group. Obviously, we haven't been able to train that much together. We've all had V&L commitments and everything like that. So I think just getting back into working together and building our connections with everyone.
Of course, you're providing a lot of leadership within the team. Who are you tipping to be some of the big performers? Do you have some sneaky predictions of who your BNFs might be? And
I think Ruby Turner, she's not here tonight, but I think she's definitely in the running for a best and fairest. She's made the Vixens reserves, so she always has a really good season, but I think she'll be in for a big year this year.
How about the most fun teammate? Who do you love working with? I
love working with Kelsey Mead in goal attack. She's a bit of fun, and we always have a good laugh when we play together, so that will be good.
What's the funniest memory you guys have shared?
Basically,
tough
you
question.
Put me on the spot. I'm not sure, to be honest. Probably one of our nights in the den, sort of, after we've won a final or something.
What happens in the den?
Can't say.
Oh, gosh. I feel like there's always a lot of celebration and reasons to celebrate down at the Dragons.
Yes, definitely.
Any big events lined up for you guys amongst the footy and netball community this year?
We haven't got really any main events this year. Obviously, the football will be hoping to go back-to-back and win another premiership this year.
Well, hopefully, for your sake, the netballers will also be
hopefully
up
the netball
there.
is very successful as well.
Should we warn the den now, put in the booking, lock in a silly Sunday, maybe even extend into a Mad Monday?
Hopefully. I played at Sandhurst for 5 years and I've had one most of the years, so hopefully it continues on this year.
Why has Sandhurst been your club of preference for all of those 5 years?
I think Sandhurst is it's a really great vibe. It's a really well-structured club and everyone gets along really well. It's a great club to play at.
Is it hard to bring in, of course, you've got a few younger players coming through the list, balancing also with older players. What's the secret to building such chemistry between old and younger and experienced and inexperienced players?
I think everyone, especially training A squad, sort of all together, and, the girls who have got all that netball knowledge, sharing it with sort of the not-so-experienced girls, and everyone contributing to giving each other advice and stuff helps with the success as well.
Who were some of your biggest mentors when you were coming into the fold around that 2020 mark?
Yeah, I think definitely Meg Williams. She sort of took me on as like our little mid-court together, and she's really mentored me and helped me get to where I am today.
Of course, Meg, as you've spoken about her, she was the inaugural Bendigo Strikers champ captain. What does it mean playing with players? Obviously, on your Saturday, you've got your footy netball, but then to get the V&L experience and seeing each other so many more times a week, how does that impact your relationships and your on-court play?
Yeah, I think it's good. It's great getting to see your friends all the time. So it obviously makes us a lot closer and, helps build connections on the court as well as off the court.
Yeah, I always think about... I think sometimes the country franchises, that's actually where you build the best connections because you are in the car a lot, you are travelling either to Melbourne or different places, as you've mentioned with the V&L fixture, sometimes getting home and away matches. Feels like that's where you can build some special memories.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's where you can make some of your closest friendships. I know Charlotte Sexton and I used to drive down to Melbourne for trainings together, and we became really close friends just from spending extra time together. So, yeah.
Yeah, Charlotte Sexton, another big game to look out for. But it brings us to half-time. It's an 8-goal margin. Sandhurst 23, Kangaroo Flat 15.
The Get Active Victoria app is an easy way to step into everyday activity with videos on yoga, dance, low impact and more. Set your own goals and track your progress. Download the free Get Active Victoria app today.
The third quarter between Sandhurst and Kangaroo Flat. Well, picking up where we left off, and so it looks like a couple of changes across the court for both teams. And at the moment, as it stands, Sandhurst with the 7-goal lead, 23 to Kangaroo Flat 16. Of course, heard from Shay Clifford in the previous quarter, a Sandhurst player, especially how much this means to her this match and going into the season, as Sandhurst and Kangaroo Flat, they're not exactly teams that are friendly towards one another, Hannah.
No, definitely not the best of friends, but really interesting to hear from Shay. Of course, she's the under-23s captain for the Bendigo Strikers. She was a BNF last year as well, so a really experienced player. Interesting to hear her observations on what builds connections amongst teammates, and of course, although it's very early in the football netball pre-season, a lot of these players are training with each other at VNL level, or they might have played together previously. So it's a case of dusting out those cobwebs and resetting those combinations. As you can see, there have been a couple of little errors, footwork error there. That's why you blast it out when you are at Red Energy Arena, so that when you're ready on a Saturday, you go, go, go.
Oh.
And that is a lovely ball, Ryan. At halftime, she swung out to that goal attack position, which is interesting. She's more of a, I think she plays her best netball when she's that holding goal shooter, although having a crack at a defensive tip there. So good to see Coach Jaden Cowling trying to throw some different combinations in that front end to help relieve that goal pressure. Of course, 7 goals in it at the moment.
Well, considering their season doesn't start now till the 12th of April, this is a really good indicator for how they are tracking, and a perfect time to test some of these combinations against a side that they know they'll be facing many times within the Football Netball League season.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, when they played each other in round 1 of 2024, it was Sandhurst who won by 7 goals. In round 10, 5 goals. So the margin narrowing, qualifying final 4 goals. And then, of course, the result flipped with Kangaroo Flat winning in that prelim by 4 goals. So it's always a tight margin between these sides. And as you saw over the course of last season, it was closing. So I wouldn't be dismayed by the 8-goal margin at this point, because you know what, Kangaroo Flat, they know when to warm up and they know that's the sharp end of the footy netball season.
Well, when you look at the head-to-heads, it really was Kangaroo Flat in the final match, the one that mattered to take them into the grand final, the difference between the two sides. But again, now these turnovers as well, we've spoken about it a bit in the broadcast, how important they are to the wider netball community to showcase these games at this level, because there is so much rich, deep talent in specifically Bendigo, as you've said, Hannah.
I mean, if we keep on the topic of Kangaroo Flat, I mean, they'd be disappointed, right? Going down in the grand final by only 2 goals to Gisborne, 43-41. That's enough to create nightmares for the whole of the off-season. We heard earlier that you try and shake it off, the footballers might be doing well, or your other netball sides might be encouraging the club to keep battling, keep faith, and he's going to the summer with a couple of wins. But no doubt these A-grade netballers, they're all very serious athletes, and they'd hate knowing that there was a grand final season loss at the end of the year. So, yeah, a lot on the line for both sides.
Well, especially considering Kangaroo Flat were leading the majority of that grand final as well. It's really only in the last quarter Gisborne were able to take it away. So, I guess, and then we've spoken a bit about Kangaroo Flat's coach being Jaden Cowling, a very established Victorian netballer in his own right. So, we're looking to try and go one better this season. It'll be interesting to see how Kangaroo Flat will be able to fight back in terms of this quarter. We've seen them have a strong start, only 2 goals scored per team and the opening couple of minutes of the third, but whether they'll be able to try and run out the game strong, and we'll see that in their games once they start playing their regular season.
Yeah, they're playing their best, Nettie, when they work patiently to circle edge and don't have to put up these long-range shots at the moment. You saw another mid-range miss, albeit they're getting closer and closer. So it's just about trying to make the work rate as minimal as possible for the goalers, so they can find themselves under post and in a comfortable position, especially for Ryan. She's a beautiful mid-range shooter, but if you can get money under the post, absolutely cash it. Yeah, love these defensive tips. The Roos they're not quite chasing them yet. Interesting if Sandhurst, they get their offensive unit or attacking unit to start working together more. You saw in that example there, Georgia, both goalers they just needed a moment of connection to look at each other, set the screen, and then make sure they're in different spaces. So both attacking lineups needing a few more moments of connection. But speak of that connection.
Yeah, Hamilton to Ryan. Well, we've seen them switch positions. Hamilton started in goal attack, Ryan started in goal shooter. They've switched, but they seemingly know each other's game inside out because of that. So even if that was just a beautiful hard pass in to Ryan, who made the run expertly.
Yeah, Ryan, she was the VNL Under-19 runner-up MVP back in 2019. So she knows what it's like to be an experienced player and try to marshal the troops. I mean, we did hear in that second quarter that's one of the beautiful things about both sides is that they do mentorship so well, and it's up to those older players to help bring things through. And I think there's no better example of that than Ruby Barkmeyer being listed as a player, but also as a playing assistant coach. That's leadership, that's mentorship. It's a beautiful structure that Kangaroo Flat employ.
Really is. Wicks on the edge of the circle, waiting for it to open up through to Hamilton. Well, Hamilton's on fire in goal shooter.
Yeah, so I love that setup there. She did the body work early to present in her shooting range. I think that's the sign of maturity when a younger player doesn't have to play that running game as much, but they're willing to sit on body and then work off it. Ryan doing a great job there in positioning front and then shuffling closer to post. So some clever work now. 5 goals, so narrowing the margin. Maybe a chance to narrow it even further. It was 5 goals at quarter time. Kangaroo Flat can make it 4 off this turnover.
Gladman coming to assistance, and again a lovely, long, beautiful ball, and somehow Hamilton off balance, still able to find Maroney, receives the ball back. And Sophie Shoebridge putting a lot of pressure over the shot. Therefore, the rebound. Sandhurst now looking to build it back.
You just need a few more options from Sandhurst. You can see only one lead, if any, leads through the middle. Always need that drive, and I love that circle edge drive, but you need some more support. That push and pull system we speak about at Georgia. You want one person going, one person reading, but always having at least two options to the ball.
Yeah, interesting to see there from goal attack Heather Olivia. Just didn't want to go for the front sweep, kind of got dragged into the congestion. And well, here's an opportunity again now for Kangaroo Flat to bring the ball back out of their defensive third. Really been impressed by the work of Alicia Gladman and goal defence for them.
Yeah, the defensive end is definitely living up to their end of the bargain, creating 2 turnovers in successive plays. So it's just up to the front end now to really deliver the ball patiently to circle edge. But geez, Sandhurst getting hands through. Love the work of these defenders on circle edge. Lot of deflections, but now, oh, that'll be enough. Oh, great effort from the Dragons. Ryan looking at her hands like the ball just slipped through them.
Shoebridge looking to bring the ball down the court. Both mid-callers calling from the side. Shoebridge using Neve Penner in wing attack. Penner doing a lot of work at the top of the third. Shoebridge having a lot of involvement for Sandhurst to try and bring their ball into a valuable position in their attacking third.
It's a lot of work to get over the transverse line, as you said, Georgia. It's probably putting these mid-quarters under a lot of fatigue, and that's exactly the result of that fatigue. You give away a penalty that you probably don't ordinarily give. So just need the backline options to be present at that transverse line, to look back, let the mid-quarters play a triangle, put themselves onto circle edge, and just not put the pressure on. But pressure's up on both ends. Ryan letting that ball go over the baseline, or goal line, I should say.
I am curious when that goal line baseline transition happened, because I feel like everyone in netball says both all the time. So it is curious to see when that officially changed the rules. But working out from the goal line, Sandhurst trying to find an option. Katie Dean, we've seen her play goalkeeper and goal defence in this game.
Now through the middle of the court. This is where I want to see options. Great take off circle edge, albeit not exactly where you want it, but much better options from Sandhurst.
Well, it was a strong quarter from Kangaroo Flat. They were able to reduce the deficit there. Sandhurst only scoring 3 goals in 10 minutes of netball. We'll be back for the final quarter just after this break. Well, immediate whistle there to start off the final quarter between Sandhurst and Kangaroo Flat. A really strong third quarter performance from Kangaroo Flat. They were able to score 6 to Kangaroo Flat's just 3 goals. Of course, reduced quarters in this preseason had out only 10 minutes each. What will both teams be able to do to ensure a strong finish? Of course, if this does go to a draw, there will be no extra time, just played out to that final whistle. My name is Georgia Rajic, of course, joined by Hannah Hewitt. Hannah, well, how good was Kangaroo's Flats fight back in that quarter?
Absolutely. I think they did a stellar job of using different options in their attacking end. At the moment, you're seeing some patience down the court, albeit both players on the same side of court, leading to that turnover. So I think Sandhurst, they're doing some great work in their offensive line, but again, Kangaroo Flat able to stack on some goals.
Well, and for Kangaroo Flat, we saw in that third quarter, Abby Ryan, ball in hand at the moment, moved into goal attack, and Ava Hamilton, who's in goal attack, had moved to goal shooter. They've switched back. Do you think this is a more return to their traditional positions?
Yeah, absolutely. I know Ryan, she's used in both the goal attack and goal shooter positions. I prefer her in goal shooter because I think she provides that really strong, clever passing option. Like you see, she doesn't need to rush at all. She's just doing the ball with ball movement and using ball speed rather than player speed. That's her best attribute. And I think a goal shooter is better positioned to do that. Take the body, then use the ball as the swing. Let the mid-quarters do the work to bring the ball to circle edge. So I like this combination. I'm glad that Coach Jaden Cowling made the move.
We've just seen a bit of trouble from Sandhurst in terms of finding an option to feed to, and also just be able to bring that ball with connected passes that we've seen a couple of times in the start of this quarter and the end of that third quarter as well. They're just passing to the run option. Do you think that's also a matter of fatigue now kicking in, decision-making being the first to go in a preseason hit-up?
Oh, I think that's the case for both teams, G, as you saw just in that play. Again, the delivery could have been a bit better for the Roos. They've got 2 options on the same angle, so both calling for that left-hand side of the post. Ideally, you'd want to balance it out. Have one calling for the left side, one looking for the right. Hamilton getting a tip in, but unfortunately for her side, all going with great pace down the other end of the third. But again, mid-quarters, both on that same line. I just want them to work together, make the eye contact, and then use a split lead or use a screen to balance the court. That's how we like to call it, making sure that all channels are effectively used.
Well, strong defensive pressure from Wilson over the top of Gilchrist. And she'll go for goal. So the score's just ticking on by for both teams as it stands. Wicks coming out for the centre pass receive. Maroney bounces it to Hamilton. Long ball over the top, but will be helped on with the obstruction on the edge of the circle. Ryan just seems so casual in the collection of that pass.
Isn't she an artful talent? I just love watching her play.
Well, 4 remains the margin. 1 less than we saw at the last break. Pinner looks in, and a beautiful shooter-to-shooter pass in for Sandhurst.
And that's the kind of play we've been calling for all match. The strong drive, traditional netball onto circle edge. That's a really clear, really easy drive to read as an attacking player. You know exactly where to set up, and that's what those goalers did. But again, great open by Ryan, great delivery. Some feeds are the feeds looking much improved in this 4th term. Good to see the overload pass being used. So different things that you bring into practice at training. Getting a hit out here at Red Energy Arena.
Also good to see Meg Williams come back into the court in that wing attack position. I think she does make the difference in the mid-court for Sandhurst at the moment. So I think it's just also providing a little bit of stability and a feeding option. You know when she has the ball, she's going to be someone who's composed with it.
Oh, absolutely. She celebrated her 150th match in the BFNL last year. So 150 plus games of experience. That's exactly what she brings. You can see in the back, you might be able to see in the back of the shot, she's just speaking with her goaling end now, the goal attacks, goal shooters, directing exactly what we called for, the balance of the court with her hands gesticulating that one needs to be the drive and one's the pulley. Again, Williams, I love, oh no, Falcon alert. She's reading off her plays now with the ball over transverse, just flinging it again over that goal line, or sideline rather.
Long ball from Wilson, finds Gladman. Well, loaded up the arm was Wicks, and somehow Hamilton, strong hands on the take, bounces it immediately across the circle. Doesn't quite drop, and again, and while Ryan's up for the hustle, forces it out. Katie Dean can only really be a participant in the fight. Hamilton back out to Moroney.
Interesting that both defenders look to suck back onto the deeper option and leave Ryan to take the mid-range shot. Of course, 1-point goals are the only option in football netball. You don't have a 2-pointer like we'll be seeing shortly with the SSN and ANZ competitions, but that's an even better pickup.
And strong work again. Well, it does feel like the momentum is 100% with Kangaroo Flat in this second half. Whether that just took a little bit to warm up into this game and into the season, or it's just the defensive side has really switched on. They're winning back ball in important places for their team. And well, woman with the ball in hand, she has been looking brilliant at the shot. That one doesn't drop the long range.
Yeah, given how precious possession is in the game of netball, you don't want to be letting the possession be changed with a really long-range shot that might be too far out of your range. Of course, Ryan, she is happy to shoot the long bombs, but I think it might be safer to do exactly what Sandhurst are doing. Use the goaler-to-goaler pass to get you a metre closer, because most goalers, they'd be shooting 90% plus from that metre range in A grade of this level. So good to see now that the shorter option's taken, but I eat my words. Short shot not falling for Hamilton.
Well, Sandhurst now with the opportunity. Williams looking around, has to pass out. Again, looks in every single time. The ball goes over, hits the post, but somehow Sandhurst are able to keep two hands on the ball. They extend their lead back out to 7.
Well, the Red Energy Arena post acting as the 8th player there. The ball would have gone off court, dare I say, and possession be changed. So a great result for the team in maroon and navy blue.
Sheriff pops it up in the air. Again, just the bounce off the back of the ring. Gladman there for the rebound. Quick on the move was Green. Ryan, so beautiful passing option out to Wicks, who finds Hamilton. And that was, again, a really beautiful passage of play for Kangaroo Flat.
It's just the artful delivery, making sure that you take the time, let defenders who are happy to have a bite at the ball, if you know that your goalkeeper or goal defence is going to run out of the circle, as we've seen a couple of times for Sandhurst, fake it out, head back to post. That's what Ryan did well in that play, realising, will my goalkeeper come out? Will she not? I'm going to do exactly what I can to find some space.
Yeah, Shoebridge just coming off the body there for a moment just opens up so much for Ryan to have the best possible opportunity. 2 quick whistles in succession. Now Sandhurst with an opportunity from mid-range. It just doesn't drop. So the accuracy to post, not doing them any favours. The difference just out to 4. Not many minutes were left in this game. Well, we see a late surge from Kangaroo Flat.
Yeah, again, the mid-quarters are having a hard task out. Not a lot of drivers, so therefore the pressure by the time it gets to circle edge is mounting. Good that Ryan can pop out, but again, a risky delivery, perhaps to the wrong side of the play, needed to be pushed further away from the defender.
Well, Green just coming off the back of Williams. The ball just being advanced through various obstructions called. Sandhurst take it back out to 5. You'd think it would just be outside of reach for Kangaroo Flat now, but...
Oh, never say never for this side. I feel like they can make amazing things happen. Of course, Sandhurst, they finished 2nd in the table last year. 12 wins, 2 losses. Kangaroo Flat 3rd with 11 wins, 3 losses. So that's one match between them. It really can go down to the wire.
And it really did. It was the final match of the season. Kangaroo Flat having the bye in the final round, so had to only sit on and wait to hope that they were going to be the side that finished in that little bit better position on the ladder at the end of the day.
Oh, what a dramatic way to finish it. There is nothing worse than having a bye at the wrong time of the year.
Oh, that is the final whistle. So 4 goals is the difference. Sandhurst 33, Kangaroo Flat 29. A great showcase of the talent of netball we have here in the Bendigo region in the Bendigo Football Netball League. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll be back very shortly for the Melbourne Vixens taking on the Waikato Bay of Plenty Magic.